Yeah, thank you, Shashank. So let's move on to activity 3. So previously we grabbed a bunch of clothing samples. It was about 25. So previously we had taken a picture of just our ankle boot, but now we want to display the full clothing samples, the full 25 clothing samples for our algorithm to recognize. Now, how would we go about doing this? Well, what we want to do is to first of all copy this code, and this is going to also utilize the plotting library that we had used earlier. And with that, it's going to show us our 25 clothing samples, as well as the labels underneath. And what this does is it allows our machine learning algorithm that we're programming to not just look at one clothing sample, but look at a variety of clothing samples. And in this case, it will be 25.
But let's say while you're taking pictures of all these samples, your boss gives you around 15 to 20 more samples to take pictures of. So what would you do? So that's what we're going to be looking at in question 1. So for this question, let's assume that let's assume that we have 42 items in total. And we want you to make them into 6 rows and 7 columns. This is how you'd want to display all your images. So if we go back to this example, just think about how many images you need if you want to display it in 6 rows and 7 columns. So this is what you'd be entering in, that number. And then based on how many rows and how many columns you want, that would be corresponding to these values over here. So this represents the rows, which are these. And this represents the columns, which are these. So if you want 6 rows and 7 columns, think about how you have to alter this code. I'll give you a couple minutes to solve this, so you can pause the video. Okay, let's see how this works. So we'll just copy paste this code. We mentioned 6 rows and 7 columns. This would be 42. Make sure you change both of these values, because not changing either one would throw an error at you. So when we run this, look what we got. We got 6 rows and 7 columns of images. Now you have a much bigger sample to work with.